Hi, so last Saturday, which would have been March 1st, my husband and I sat down here in our recording room and we tried something that I have wanted to try for a little while, but we weren't quite sure how it was going to go. Basically, I did a meditation. I opened myself up. I set intentions to answer any questions that he brought to me. And basically, we did a channeled session with him asking questions, me having no idea what he was going to ask first and foremost. And just took it from there. Just let him ask and see if I was able to receive any intuitive or psychic hits of any kind, any channeled information of any kind about current events, world events. And I'm just going to post it here for you and just let you watch and let me know what your thoughts are. Enjoy. It's recording. Yeah.
Okay. What do you see in international politics being the overall view of the world by midsummer? Meaning, by the time we get to late July, early August, will there be a new world order? Will there be certain nations, Israel, the United States, Russia, who are looked at as a second axis of evil, etc.?
So when you were first asking, the first thing that was happening is that
You need to pull your mic closer.
Oh, because you can't hear me.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not recording through the mic, but you can hear me.
Correct.
Okay. So when you were first asking about like late July, early August, and what does the world look like kind of scenario, I do feel like there will still be conflict. I was getting kind of like a sense, almost like watching some of the scenes that we're seeing play out today, but to a lesser degree in terms of severity and consistency. Things feel like there's upheaval. I feel like the primary upheaval in terms of seeing images and video clips like that are still not domestic, they're overseas. When you said like a new world axis of evil, I did get an immediate no. It feels more likely name the countries that you were asking about again.
United States, Israel, Russia, perhaps North Korea.
It feels like a no, but it feels like it's a no in the way that there's enough that can be seen through the veil to realize that's not the case. It feels like if we see things and people have suspicions that it's moving in that direction, it won't fully go that direction. It would stop before it actually got there. It would, and I feel like globally speaking, there are enough people to, people in power, other countries, parliaments, presidents, whatever, dictators, they're the dictators, but where like globally speaking, they can look at it and see that it actually doesn't have what would be necessary for it to form as like a full, I don't know what the word is that I want to use, as a full like alliance with them. And actually saying that out loud now, it's kind of coming up. Oh, I don't like that. It's actually kind of coming up almost like they can see that whatever the United States is doing, they don't have the strength to actually pull that off and fully form with that. Like what the other countries that you're talking about could offer isn't enough, and the United Strength doesn't have its own strength enough to form into like a full-blown alliance in that way. And the other leaders in the world see that that lack of strength in the United States and the instability in the United States, not being able to form. It actually feels like there might be some who it's almost like looking at two lunch tables. That like there are these over here at this other lunch table talking behind the scenes, trying to support the United States to make sure that doesn't happen. I don't know enough about foreign relations and international relations to see if this could make any sense or what kind of context there would be, but it's almost like these people over here at this other lunch table are talking behind the scenes. I don't know, would that be like NATO or, you know, other like what have been our allies for so long? I'm getting some chills on things that they are doing behind the scenes work and conversations and trying to create strategy to help reinforce the United States and ensure that that other alliance doesn't take place as like an axis of evil. And I'm trying to see something. Hold on. Somehow right now, it's feeling like the shifting of the time frame of later August into September sort of window might be a time that things start to shift back into feeling like we can see better stability on the horizon. I don't think we're there yet, but there's something occurs through that late August into September window, it seems, that helps reinforce the United States, pulling it away from the worry of going in that direction. It feels like you can see people having the idea behind moving in the direction of trying to form a stronger alliance with those countries, but I'm not getting anything really clearly looking like, oh shit, they're in talks for that to happen. Like it's almost like it pushes towards the brink of it, but pulls back before it ever gets there. And it honestly seems like, hold on, I feel like I'm missing something. 1 second. Interesting. That's the first time something like that has come up. Ooh, I'm kind of getting a sense and word of like sabotage, but it's like behind the scenes with us. There's something on our line.
Sabotaging whom?
Like sabotaging, in my view, I feel like we're most likely to have JD in place at that point, but like somebody behind the scenes sabotage. I'm getting like a lot of kind of chill kind of sensations with it. Like he thinks he has people with him and doing the bidding of him and his, you know, the cronies who are actually paying for all of the shit and everything. But there's somebody's, somebody that feels like that, you know, him and his front people would see as sabotaging behind the scenes. So somebody is like not somebody in his orb that has, ooh.
So JD's in power, and he thinks that he's got smooth sailing, but there are people that are behind the scenes that are sabotaging him.
That's what it feels like, yeah. And and they're possibly even at that other lunch table with the good guys, the good guy lunch table, having the talks to try to help pull it back.
Will there be free and fair elections this fall?
Oof, okay. Well, let me say this to get it out of the way first. When you said it, I did get a chill, which is usually confirmation to what you have said, but let me see. We may have to try that question another time. Okay. I'm not getting anything really clear at the moment that something still feels off with that in comparison to how things usually play out.
Let me try this one then.
Okay.
This is kind of a clarifier, but not really. It's related. Will those in power currently that are corrupt be held accountable anytime soon or ever?
Okay. Yes. It is a yes, but so, and I do want to put this out first because I have seen one of my favorite people specifically say that the way that she sees it is that almost like Al Capone. It's tax evasion that took him in. Yeah. So there may be charges, but knowing that I have heard that and saying that out loud and getting it out of the way, I still feel like Pam Bondi may be one of the earliest ones to have like charges or something some sort of prosecution, some sort of charges, whether that's impeachment or
But
further.
none of that will ever happen until they're not in power. Like even under Vance, would
I
you
don't
see?
know. I have to say, something feels like, not with you saying that out loud, something makes me go, yeah, it will.
Is it possible Vance actually ends up being a decent person once he's in position?
Okay, that's interesting. That's different from what I thought it would be. I feel like I want to say no, but I feel like it's because he would have had it in him to be, yes, he would be a decent person, but he's now too far compromised and has too much money and stake in the game and can't back down from that, at least not in terms of trying to lead the nation. What happens after that, I don't know. That's not something I've looked at yet, but at least in terms of leading the nation, there's too much that he's done, has been involved in, too much money, too many others pulling the strings and having power, and
He's bought and paid for.
And actually I almost see him kind of like bickering, but then still doing the bidding. Like he's like
because he knows it's wrong.
Right, behind closed doors bickering
which
with
is
people.
Irrelevant, but he's not going to be there very long anyway.
No, I still, for me, it feels like a matter of months.
Okay, so
Yeah.
What becomes of the Republican Party post-Trump?
Oof. Okay. That's interesting too. I'm not okay. So MAGA, in and of itself, as it is right now with MAGA, that won't stand obviously because he's gone. But there does feel like to still be like a small percentage of farthest extremist people that like I don't know if anything will ever change them while they're still here on this planet. But what's interesting is that it's almost like everything else that right now is labeled Republican. I don't think that this is me like with wishful thinking or ego or anything, because I didn't expect this. It feels like everything shifts. It's like MAGA stays way over here, and the Republican Party that's like butted up against it feels like it shifts.
Like moves toward the left,
a little more
bit.
centrist-ish as we have. But actually, I just want to ask if there's more than two parties, because I've not asked that yet.
I've got something interesting to run by you too.
Okay. And
I'm getting really strong confirmations on a thought I just had.
okay, and sometime or another when I'm not expecting it, we try this again, you ask me, am I getting any sense about two parties? Because right now it's weird. Asking, will there still be two parties? It's almost like I see all these trickles and it's just going like raindrops splashing in water, and I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Symbolically, figuratively, does that mean that
maybe that's stack choice? It's like where if you have multiple candidates, and rather than you only select one, you list them in your preference, and then they combine all those results, and that's how you determine the winner.
Interesting.
So your number two could end up winning.
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay.
I don't know. That's just a thought.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing.
In my head that there's going to need to be another constitutional convention.
Oh, I think we're definitely going to rewrite or in some fashion or
But I mean,
another
for the first
revamp.
time since the country was formed,
Yeah.
which is weird that it's this anniversary, but
Right. Well, 250 years. That's how long empires tend to last.
yeah.
Rome was 250, wasn't it? Or thereabouts? Thereabouts. Well, you're one of the men who you don't think about the Roman Empire every day. That was a thing on TikTok like a year ago, or maybe longer. It was like a thing about like middle-aged white men always think about the Roman Empire. They think about it like every day. And I was like,
What?
not all of them. Not the one I'm married to. I think I even asked you that. I said, when's the last time you thought about the Roman Empire? And you were like never?
You know what? Earlier this week, I think it was Monday, I did look up a Roman meal. Do you remember that?
No.
It's an old bread company. It just popped in my head, and the emblem is like a Roman
Interesting.
knight bent over with their sword or something. But I hadn't thought of it forever, and it popped in my head.
Did you ask the question you said you got a confirmation on?
That was the Constitutional Convention.
Oh.
That there's going to have to be some type of, like, we're calling this, all representatives from all states have to come together because things are so broken.
Yes.
That we've got to address it from the ground up.
Yes. If it's not like a straight up rewrite of the Constitution, that may not be, but it is at least a significant revamping. And, what did I hear? did I hear the other day that hit me? There was somebody said something about not until they put education in the Constitution as a right, which then makes me say healthcare too. Interesting. And I was like, it's kind of ridiculous that that education.
Every
isn't
other
a
civilized
right.
country has all of these things,
Right.
and Israel has them, and we're funding Israel having them.
Right.
Yet we can't give it to our own citizens.
Right.
That tells you how in the pocket we are.
Let's hold on to education and healthcare as an actual right in the revamping of the Constitution. It's not going to be just amendments. I feel like.
So you think that'll happen?
I don't know. That's more of a brain thought, but let's.
Okay, here's
manifest it.
will anything ever happen to Fox News for all the
Ooh.
damage they have done?
Ooh. Okay, well, I got weird chills on it, so hold on, let me see. Okay. Full disclosure, this is a hard one because I have some personal thoughts.
Yeah.
But the strongest I can say feels legitimate is not like the fairness doctrine, because I don't actually even know what that said. I just know that when they removed it, everything started to slowly spiral into a huge shitstorm. But something where like there is accountability to a stronger degree than we've got just whatever the fuck anybody wants to say right now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no accountability whatsoever. You can just spew total nonsense and call it, in a court of law that it's entertainment and not news.
Yeah.
So there does feel like to be a cleaner playing field slate where it's like you have to have some sort, that was a weird chill. You have to actually specify whether you're giving details and facts versus here's my opinion on it. Interesting.
Okay.
That feels further, though. I will admit that feels like, 2 to 3 years at least before we're like really getting something solid. Yeah, 3-ish years. That feels a little further out. But it does feel like there's a little more of like, it has to be called what it is.
Will there be a reinstitution of the draft?
Also interesting. Okay, let me say this and get it out of the way, and then I'll see if there's something more about it. I got an immediate no, and then I sat and thought, let me make sure. And I still got a no. There's something that feels like a more purposeful, present, strong urging. It actually feels like they're going to be needing like stronger recruitment. Like it feels like they might have a noticeable decline in voluntary
and people wanting to serve because of Trump.
Well, just the instability that's coming very soon.
Okay.
Because I think I told you.
Well, as long as it doesn't result in a draft, I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a draft. It feels like, actually, it almost feels like icky. So, sort of like the days where they would have like a table stationed in every school and like outside of shopping centers, because I feel like you don't really see that much anymore, where they're like really purposefully recruiting, but almost stronger to the point of feeling icky. But it doesn't feel like an actual draft where your number get picked and too bad you're going.
Right.
But it does feel, so it doesn't feel like there's a strong need because we have conflict and we need you to come in right now because we need people to fight for us, but it feels like a stronger need because less people are volunteering to go in.
Yeah.
And that feels like that's based on the vulnerability and instability that I've previously told you. Like because the vulnerability that keeps coming up for me is the dollar. The people in the United States knowing that the dollar has lost value, the global economy realizing that the dollar is about to lose value, and then the vulnerability of being fearful that something will happen on our land. I also want to say that I kind of had a weird hit like early this morning, in the middle of the night when I was waking up, and then again earlier today. I really, really hope there's not a false flag event out of what's currently happening, but I just got a weird chill. I'm a little bit concerned that there could be one. I have to say, though, it doesn't feel on the scale of 9/11, but it feels
They're going to try something because all he's done so far He's trying, if you go back historically, everything he's doing has been done before. He's just trying to redo them
Right.
to make people think he's some, immortal god. And he's got a divine intervention to save his ass from these staged events. I mean,
Right. It feels like
that and distracting from Epstein.
yeah, this feels purposeful to justify everything that, like, with the current, like, actual war going on. Feels like, oh, see, I told you they were horrible, dangerous people. But I feel like I want to say that that's like maybe right now, sitting at this moment, it feels like a 60-ish, 60-ish percent chance. It doesn't feel super, super strong. I don't know if that means that it's just not very close. I feel like middle to the second half of March might be the highest likelihood of something going on here. But again, it doesn't feel huge scale. It just feels like, oh, that's enough for us to say. Is that something else, though? What is that? As I'm talking, it's kind of... I feel like there's something vehicular. I feel like I'm getting pulled more to like something with a vehicle causing damage. I don't know if it's like, I'm not clearly getting like people driving into a crowd or like a car bomb kind of scenario or something, but it feels like something with like a vehicle on the ground rather than like planes or anything. Or missiles. I don't get anything that feels like a missile coming or something like that.
And where does this take place?
It feels this side of the United States as compared to West. I feel like the strongest pull is probably like what you might consider like the eastern seaboard, but I'm not getting like on the coast.
Right. How about Philadelphia?
I feel like I want to say I'm getting pulled a little further south than that.
Okay.
I feel like imagine, somewhere Delaware, Maryland, down to, I feel north of Georgia. And like just in from the coast is like the region I'm getting pulled most towards.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I believe there are military installations in Virginia.
Oh, that, interesting. Okay.
Is that your stomach?
That's my stomach. It's been doing it for I was doing it while you were downstairs too.
Are you nervous?
No, it's just.
Why don't we just do this? Like if you and I did this every night, we just came up here and did this and recorded it. Seriously.
I'm bound to hit something eventually, right?
I guarantee you people will be like, oh, they're entertaining.
Well, there you have it. A first attempt, kind of a rough one at the first attempt, to make sure that that was something that actually could take place and that would work. I'm sure we'll refine it over time. We have intentions of doing it again. And just let me know what you think. Is it the kind of thing that you would like to see more of or not? So thanks for watching.